Hey everybody, this is Josh, and today we are going to be doing a live reaction to Shigaraki versus Mahito. Now, I don't know a darn thing about these two characters, not a darn thing, but dude, this thumbnail goes so hard, man. I effing love this thumbnail. But just I did watch the previews though, so I did get kind of the gist of why they put these characters together. And yes, oh my yes, I get it. I get it. This is a great matchup. It's as someone in the comments of this pointed out, it's the most dangerous game of tag. So yeah, basically like it depends on who touches the other first to mess them up. But yeah, here we go. Ah, they're doing this premiere. Yeah, I don't use that. I don't use this one. I use the dramatic one, or the cinematic one. They're using the dramatic one. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Like, I don't know who's gonna win. I think it's gonna be a combination of who can touch the other first and whose effects actually happen faster. I feel like strength is gonna be a non-factor, or it's like who has better ranged options. Yeah, I really do feel like strength is gonna be a bit of a non-factor in this fight. I think intelligence is also going to be a bit of a factor here, like especially like well, specifically combat intelligence, like who can psych the other out, who's better at trickery. I feel like those are going to be the big factors of the fight. I mean, we'll see. Yeah, this is why I prefer the this is why I prefer the cinematic one or the dramatic one, whichever one it is, because you can actually see the numbers, the 10, there we go, 9. That actually shows you a literal countdown. Here we go. Ooh.
Shigaraki versus Mahito.
The symbol of fear versus the human disaster curse.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Yeah, here we go.
Tenko Shimura was just a sweet, shy boy who loved superheroes.
Yep.
Sometimes the hand of fate can't abide sweet shy boys.
Oh, really?
Beaten and abused
Really,
by
hand
his
of fate?
hero-hating father,
I got
Tenko
that.
pushed beyond his emotional limits until he activated his inherent superpower.
JD Subita.
Or quirk.
League of Legends Smash Bros. Player. Society.
His terror, he accidentally killed his whole family. Well, except for dear old dad. That one was intentional.
Tenko wandered the streets alone, silently begging for someone, anyone, to help him. If only a hero was there to save him. But instead, the only open hand he found belonged to the devil.
All for one. The greatest supervillain in history.
He took Tenko under his wing, feeding a hatred of everyone and everything, and grooming him to one day lead his League of Villains in destroying hero society.
With that came a new name, Kobura Shigaraki, and an absolutely nightmarish quirk, Decay.
Yep.
It does what it says on the tin. Anything Shiggy touches with all 5 fingers turns to dust. The perfect
Yep,
power
all
for someone
5
who
fingers.
just
He's
wants
got to
to
get
destroy.
all 5
Pretty
fingers.
menacing, if not for that dorky-ass costume. I get it, hands are his thing, but come on, they just look so dumb and fake.
Oh, those aren't prosthetics. Those are real hands from his family that he killed, attached to his face, and explicitly commanded to be left there by his mentor so that he would never forget his rage.
Okay.
While his use of decay started off relatively weak, it rapidly increased in power and range as Shigaraki came into his own.
Decay isn't even limited to whatever he's touching. Anything that touches something he's decaying also decays.
Yeah.
Spreading like an all-consuming miasma that can wipe out anything from an enormous tower to an entire city.
Yep.
If decay reaches you, your only hope is to isolate the body part that is disintegrating before it gets to something vital.
Yep.
After years of training with the greatest supervillain of all time, Shigaraki was finally put in charge of his own team with one mission. He must kill his master's rival, the #1 hero, All Might.
Only to fall flat on his face.
Shigaraki was a terrible leader, quick-tempered, short-sighted, and, well...
Yep.
Cringe. Oh, he's just so cringe. He uses lingo unironically. He whines like a baby when things don't go his way. He's the kind of guy who would say normie in real life. In front of normies.
But they say defeat is the greatest teacher
Yeah,
of
this is
all.
why I don't play
Only
League of
through
Legends
struggle
anymore.
could
It turns
Shigaraki
me
manifest
very
his dark
unchristian.
conviction.
Right as All Might's new protege, Izuku Midoriya, was coming into his own as well.
These two rivals, the inheritors of their master's blood feud, would push themselves past their own limitations.
Especially when All Might and All For One double KO'd each other, leaving Shigaraki to lead the League of Villains all by himself.
And with the stakes higher than ever before, Shigaraki stepped up. He personally battled the monstrous Gigantomachia for a month and a half straight, and conquered other villain organizations to create the Paranormal Liberation Front. Thousands of new soldiers for his personal army.
All to impress All For One's personal quack, Dr. Ujiko, who spent months upgrading Shigaraki's body to make it more like his sensei's. It might have been constant agony, but Shiggy went from Chud to Chad.
Ujiko's experimentation increased Shigaraki's
I like
strength,
that.
speed, and durability, enough to match and surpass even All Might's absurd power.
Sharing All Might's power between them, Deku and Bakugo were able to punch an island-sized hole in a cloud that reached 24 miles into the sky. We've calculated that before to be nearly 80 million megatons of TNT, almost as much as the meteor that wiped out the dinosaurs.
And Shigaraki can now move fast enough that his body produces hypersonic shockwaves and can even catch laser beams.
And he's tough enough to survive Star and Stripes Intercontinental Ballistic Cruise Punch. Now the new name for my penis. Move over, gigantic Omega Storm. Anyway, it also made a blast so big it showed up against the curvature of the Earth.
Though he might seem invincible, when Shigaraki's body is pushed hard enough, he will evolve into a state of uncontrollable power.
So Decay became, oh shit, more hands.
Shigaraki can spontaneously generate flesh into existence, seemingly oceans of it in an instant, whenever he wants. He can even use it as a type of armor to defend himself in
Oh!
But that's nothing compared to Ujiko's greatest gift. Shigaraki wanted to be the new All For One, so what better way than the old man's quirk?
All For One's quirk, All For One, allows its user to steal and store quirks with just a touch.
And All For One has hundreds of them stored up, collected over the years.
Each quirk is connected to a memory of its user's essence in the form of a spirit, a vestige.
Kinda like a piece of their soul. They exist in this kinda psychic world in Shigaraki's body, and can even act as a spiritual defense should it be invaded.
And with those vestiges came quirks like super fast healing, air blast, radio waves, flight, telekinesis, teleportation of others, and the ability to track foes.
Okay, he's
It
got
can
some
even
versatility
combine
here.
multiple quirks together, like in this big-ass electric Kamehameha.
However, any vestige stolen or destroyed will also remove that quirk from Shigaraki's repertoire. They're also sentient, and some can even fight for control.
Which is when the second shoe finally dropped. Because Shigaraki also got All For One's vestige, that means All For One was now in possession of a shiny new body that he'd spent the last 15 years molding for him to take over.
Shigaraki's entire existence was planned from the beginning. Why? Because All Might's previous mentor was Nana Shimura, Tanko's grandmother.
Oh, that to mess with All Might. That is some next level hating right there.
He manipulated Shigaraki's entire life, all for one purpose: to create a soul so corrupted it would grind away at All Might's perfect world, allowing All For One to take full control.
But All For One's possession wasn't complete, and Shiggy managed to fight his way back to the top. literally decaying his way through vestiges in the process, all to fight his rival Deku one last time.
Despite Izuku's best efforts to save him, Shigaraki was too far gone. His spirit decayed by years of venomous hatred.
And the new symbol of hope defeated the new symbol of fear, burying All For One's grudge for good.
All that Shigaraki asked was to be remembered as the heartless destroyer he was raised to be, and not the broken, angry, crying little boy he really was deep inside.
Holy
Just that one
shift.
moment, though, Shiggy got in Deku the only thing he'd been denied his whole life. The one thing his lifelong nihilistic tantrum was really all about. He got a hero who tried to save him.
Holy
This
shirt.
battle is sponsored by Robin Hood Gold.
Good
Robin Hood
golly.
now enjoy the VIP treatment.
That's
This
My
is a
Hero
3%
Academia?
match on retirement
That's what
contributions.
that story is about?
Privileges of the very privileged are no longer exclusive.
Holy
With
crap.
Robin Hood Gold, your annual
That is-
IRA contributions
Whoa.
are boosted by 3%.
Plus, you also get 4%
That is
APY
dark.
cash in non-retirement accounts. That's over 8 times.
That
the
is
national
intense,
savings. The
man.
benefits of high net worth are now available for any network.
The new gold standard is here with Robin Hood Gold.
Oh
To
my
receive a
gosh.
10% boost on annual IRA contributions. Sign up at robinhood.com/gold.
Holy
Investing involves risk.
fragoroli.
Subject to change. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold at $5 a month for 1
I
year.
did not know
Match
that
plus
was what My
$2,000
Hero
IRA for
Academia
5
was
years.
about.
Go to robinhood.com/gold.
I can see why
Over
people
8
are
times
so
the
into
Triangle
it.
Savings account interest rate claim is based on data from the FDIC as of November 18th, 2024. Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
Whew.
Ever since Cain slew his brother Abel and wetted his fields with his blood, man's greatest fear has been his fellow man.
But what if this fear took on a life of its own?
What if all that negative emotion humans felt for one another spilled from their bodies and congealed, forming, over time, a living being fueled by malice, which believes in nothing but the law of the jungle?
Well, then
Oh
you
my
have
gosh.
the special grade curse with a patch face, Mahito. Oh, I've had people tell me I've become a human disaster curse when I've had too many mojitos.
Mahito is one of the deadliest
AKA
beings
Patch
to ever
Face.
afflict mankind.
Lives in a
He's
society.
no mere mortal, though, but a cursed
Fan of
spirit.
Tolkien. Oh,
Memorable
I mean, he's
spirits
got good
exist,
taste.
weaker or stronger depending on the amount of anxieties, jealousies, hatreds, and fears humans feel about them.
Like the fear of locusts, kinda weak. Or the fear of smallpox, getting stronger. Or the fear of fire. Oh, goodbye, Tokyo.
So it follows that mankind's fear of itself would be extremely powerful. Those negative emotions manifest as Mahito, a being composed of cursed energy.
It's basically like evil ki. Cursed energy can be used to make spirits way stronger, faster, and tougher than any normal human. And it's invisible, making curses like Mahito impossible for the untrained eye to see. Only a life or death situation can galvanize a normal person to see a cursed spirit.
That also makes cursed spirits virtually immune to physical damage. They may be physically present in space, but can only be harmed by attacks that embody spirit matter like cursed energy.
Which makes curses insanely hard to get rid of.
Yeah.
Like ghosts, cockroaches, or my ex. That's why
Yay,
the
X
sorcerer
joke.
Come in and Kaizen the shit out of them. They call it exorcism, but I like the way I said it better.
Curses
Exorcism
and
battle.
sorcerers have battled each other for millennia, waging an endless war over the fate of humanity. Almost exclusively in Japan, though, for some reason.
Mahito was special. You see, most curses are basically dumb animals, but Mahito has so much cursed energy that it gave him sentience.
So he was recruited by Kenjaku alongside other special grade disaster curses to wreak havoc upon the world. In fact, they made Mahito their leader.
And even
Figures.
more frightening than intelligence and bloodlust, Mahito possessed philosophy.
Perhaps informed by the tragic meaninglessness of interhuman conflict, Mahito is an existential nihilist, believing in nothing but his own will to power. It's a dog-eat-dog world, and Mahito is the wolf.
Which also makes him kind of a goofball. If nothing matters, why not have fun with the slaughter? Really get your steps in. He loves to dig around and toy with your emotions like a cartoon character before slitting your throat.
An appropriate analogy considering his curse technique, idle transfiguration.
Using his cursed
Yep.
energy, Mahito can control anyone's soul with just a touch. including his own. In fact, he's so good at manipulating his own soul that you can't even kill the bastard without directly targeting it.
In Jujutsu Kaisen, the soul and the body share an immutable connection. Whatever happens to the former affects the latter.
This lets Mahito squash, stretch, and shape-shift his body into literally anything he wants, like Play-Doh. He can turn his limbs into blades or clubs, grow wings like a bird or fins like a fish, reform his body around injuries, or even create clones.
Curse users are naturally unharmed by their own ability. Should he touch a human, though, his alterations to their body are instantly fatal.
And since he's attacking your soul,
most
those
dangerous
physical
game
wounds
attack.
are gonna be impossible to heal.
Even if his alteration isn't directly fatal, the human body won't last more than a few moments in a transfigured state.
Oh, that with one touch! God, I thought herpes was bad.
His power treats humans as effectively disposable dolls that he can gleefully experiment on. The more casualties, the better, especially if he gets to break your spirit first and watch you suffer.
Even more twisted is when he combines two transfigured humans together for soul multiplicity, essentially a giant torrent of body horror flesh that he repels at an opponent. Yeah.
Mahito is unbelievably creative with his application of final transfiguration, and despite being a newborn curse, consistently keeps experienced sorcerers on the back foot.
It helps that he's a quick study who's picked up a number of different curse techniques, like the Black Flash.
By applying
Oh man, I'm actually feeling a little nauseous now.
Impact with an enemy, space itself will distort.
Both of these guys body horror.
Force by a factor of 2.5.
Not only does this hurt like a mother, it restores your curse technique and gets you fully in the zone.
And would require reflexes moving nearly 1,000 times the speed of sound. It's no surprise then that Mahito also unlocked the pinnacle of sorcerer techniques, the Domain Expansion.
Oh shit! More hands! A domain is like a barrier of cursed energy, but if you're caught inside, Mahito can use idle transfiguration instantly without even needing to touch you.
It's called the self-embodiment of perfection, the ultimate expression of Mahito's absolute control over his victim's body and soul. The only time it ever failed was against the student sorcerer and Mahito's archenemy, Yuji Itadori.
Because not only was Yuji a barf-inducing goody little two-shoes who believed in the inalienable rights of all living things, blah, 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 he also had a curse inside of him.
The king of curses, Sukuna.
Which meant Mahito's ability affected both souls in Yuji's body. Sukuna didn't like that. No surprise, and kicked Mahito's ass, forcing Patchface to fight with a handicap whenever facing his pink-haired menace.
Yuji's belief in the value of human life flew directly in the face of the world that Mahito knew to be cruel and meaningless. So he made it his mission to crush Yuji's spirit before killing him, murdering his friends, defiling their corpses, and brutally battering him before going in for the kill.
And he's got the strength to do it. Mahito's one of the most powerful curses in the world, and his growth is exponential.
Fellow disaster curse Jogo was able to summon a massive meteor capable of reducing the city of Shibuya to ash.
That'd take an energy of over 800 kilotons of TNT.
Oh boy.
Mahito can take as good as he can give, especially when
Okay, I think that means
Yuji, he
Shigaraki is stronger.
Oh
gosh, we're going into Akira.
Body of distorted killing.
Complete with armored exoskeleton and arm blades, this was a taste of the almighty
Holy
curse Mahito
fudge.
was growing into, a true blight on all mankind.
Jeez. I see why they brought on Moro for this. This feels like, oh gosh.
Now a bigger wolf.
So he tucked tail and ran away like a bitch. And what do you know? Life suddenly became a whole lot more meaningful the second it looked like it was about to end.
All gleeful nihilism, just a bitter hypocrisy in the end.
For him, maybe, but Mahito found a convert in his archenemy. After a battle that wiped out thousands of innocent people, Yuji's youthful spirit was gone. The only thing left that mattered was exorcising this curse.
In a way, that was Mahito's final victory, the destruction of another human being's soul. He may not have been around to see it, but the curse Mahito inflicted on the world would bring it to its knees.
Jeez.
Hey, do you see that join button? Yeah, that one. That's your ticket to being a death battle champion. As a champion, you get all sorts
Holy
of fraggaroli.
fraggaroli.
Live chats,
Oh boy.
matchup ideas. And
I am a little scared to watch this fight now.
So thank you for being a champion.
Oh boy.
All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a death battle!
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of death in this battle. Oh, these poor sods. They're toast. Yep.
I'd heard of a powerful villain stalking these parts. My organization is going to tear this putrid world down around us. We could use a freak of your talents.
Little old me. Do I want to be king of the social rejects? How about I bring them your head instead?
Fine by me. Let's call this your audition. Sickum.
Ooh. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Did you actually just say that?
God, how lame!
Oh my god.
Audition over.
Did I get the part?
Decay.
Oh my gosh. This is so cool.
What a rush! That all you got?
Domain expansion.
Oh my gosh.
I can read your soul. You're just a scared little boy whose daddy is mean and wants to make it everyone else's problem. Grow up.
My masterpiece. I felt your soul too. You only hate humanity because you were born that way. Totally random. I hate them for a reason. You grow up.
Ooh. Holy shit.
With their complex power sets, this match was a puzzle to figure out, which is why we're breaking it down to 3 categories: physical stats, survivability, and their powers.
But first, let's address one thing. Could Shigaraki even see Mahito?
Well, yeah.
It's an invisible curse after all.
Curse
Life or
energy and
death.
quirks are notably different, and Shigaraki wouldn't be able to see curses normally. However, even regular humans can spontaneously develop the ability to see curses in life and death scenarios.
And this is very life and death.
Shigaraki would have had no problem tracking it.
So yeah, that's not really an advantage in a death battle, is it?
We can
Ugh.
jump into their stats.
This was no contest. Despite the disaster curses being able to destroy entire cities,
Yeah,
with
no
their
contest.
enemies, Shigaraki scaling to Deku and Bakugo meant he was calculably millions of times stronger.
Yep.
He was faster too, considering. he
Yeah, I
could
feel like the
react to
strength
light
really
beams,
didn't
while
matter,
Mahito's
though.
Black Flash capped out at nearly 1,000 times the speed of sound. Nothing to scoff at, but Shiggy was thousands of times faster. Shigaraki takes stats.
But survivability was a little trickier to figure out.
Yep, in terms of raw durability, Shigaraki was a lot tougher, and his ability to generate new flesh meant that he could heal any wounds he might receive super easy.
However, Mahito is a curse and is immune to the kind of overwhelming physical damage Shigaraki could dish out. Not only that, Mahito's regenerative ability via idle transfiguration meant that he'd come back from anything short of spiritual damage.
Considering Mahito's unique curse body, he should actually get the edge in survivability.
Which presents a crucial question. Could Shigaraki even kill a curse like Mahito in the first place?
Good
Or
question.
would Mahito's unkillability give him the time he needed to eventually put Shiggy down with idle transfiguration?
It all comes down to their powers.
Shigaraki had a lot more variety with all of the crazy quirks All For One had collected over all the years, but none that we know of could properly kill a curse. That didn't mean idle transfiguration was a surefire bet either, though.
Of all things, Shigaraki's vestiges served as a spiritual shield from the effects of idle transfiguration. The fact that Mahito could not avoid targeting Sukuna while attacking Yuji meant that he couldn't target specific souls inside a person.
And Shiggy has hundreds of soul-like entities inside of him. Sure, each one down means he loses a quirk, but that's more than enough time to land a single hit with Decay, especially considering how much faster Shiggy is.
And Mahito has no way to defend against Shigaraki's primary quirk. Decay has affected spiritual beings in the past.
Oh, that's
He was
key.
able to damage
That's
Deku's
key.
vestige and have that damage transferred to the Deku. in
And
the
also
quirk.
because
Mahito may
with
be made of spirit
Mahito,
energy,
like he's a
but he
curse,
still
and
has
their
a physical
souls and
form.
bodies
In
are
fact,
linked.
Sorcerers that couldn't naturally target the soul were able to fight him on even footing. No reason to think Shiggy wouldn't decay him like everyone else.
Giving Shigaraki the third and final edge. It was a unique duel to the death, but Shigaraki's overwhelming might, unstoppable powers, and deadly decay spelled the end for the disaster curse.
Nothing else to say. You really gotta hand it to Shigaraki.
The winner
Gosh
is
dang it.
Tomura Shigaraki.
Next time
Ooh
on
boy.
Death
Oh, what's
Battle.
this? Huh? Oh, here it is! Master Chief
Subscribe and
versus
join us in the
Doomslayer!
Team War Death Battle. Thanks for watching.
Oh my gosh. Oh! Oh! That was a fight! That was a battle! Oh! Oh my gosh. I almost lost my lunch there. Good golly. Man, probably not gonna watch Jujutsu Kaisen after that, but My Hero Academia, I might pick that up after watching this, because I'm not entirely sure. Ugh. Woo, that was great. Oh man, I mean, I don't know enough about these franchises to debate the result, but made sense to me. So yeah, thank you all for joining me on this adventure. Have a lovely day and take care.